U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, I have great respect for you as an elected leader with millions of supporters in your country, but I cannot stay silent while you staunchly and repeatedly defend, aid, and abet a tyrant like Evo Morales. Our Bolivian constitution limits presidents to one re-election and 2 terms, just like in the USA. But Evo forced a ruling in 2013 from his pliant judges to allow himself a 3rd term. In 2016, he called a referendum to get an additional one. The Bolivian people voted no. But he then pushed for yet another ruling, establishing that indefinite re-election was an OAS human right, and he ran for a 4th term. In the election last year, Evo and his people forged signatures, altered tally sheets, dead people voted, and when that was not enough, he stopped the quick count and set up hidden servers to modify more tally sheets. Young people, like the youth that show up at your US rallies, came out in droves to defend our democracy in the streets of Bolivia. The irrefutable OAS audit that Evo Morales himself had asked for and accepted as binding proved that the election was rigged. On November 10th last year, he annulled the fraud, called for new elections with a new electoral court. He then fled to Mexico. 14 days later, Evo's congressional representatives, with over 2/3 of the current parliament, unanimously approved the law that did exactly what he asked for and ratified the constitutional validity of only 2 presidential terms. It is crystal clear. It was fraud, not a coup. As a matter of fact, it is Evo Morales who perpetrated a slow motion coup over the years, following the playbook designed by your friend Maduro in Venezuela. The Chavista oil money has funded academics and think tanks in your country to defend the complete annihilation of Venezuela, where never so few, with so much power, over so much time, have so utterly destroyed democracy and exterminated the economy of such a rich country. This same academics suggest that statistically, Evo could have won last year's Bolivian election without fraud. Sir, with all due respect, a coin flipped 5 times can land on tails 5 times in a row. This can statistically happen once every 32 times this exercise is repeated. But if the coin is rigged and has tails on both sides, it will be tails every time if you flip it once or 1,000 times. In my days as an IBM systems engineer, I learned a simple fact. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage, disguised as academic analysis to defend fraud, is still garbage, even if it is published in respected news outlets. There are many well-founded criticisms about the transition government in my country. I have expressed many, but they should never be used to defend Evo Morales, a ruthless autocrat who muzzled the free press, criminalized the opposition, co-opted institutions, protected cocaine, violated the Constitution, disavowed the results of a binding referendum, and committed massive electoral fraud. From a moral standpoint, the former president's personal depravity is indefensible. It has many wondering if he will be featured in Netflix in a new season of Narcos or Jeffrey Epstein. When Bolivians fled into exile from Evo's persecution, he would repeat a phrase, quote, "If you escape, you're confessing delinquency," unquote. He did. He is. I'm sure that if a US president seeked a 4th consecutive term while rigging the mail balloting system, you too, sir, Senator Sanders, would be in the streets of the USA, pitita on hand, yelling, "No one tires, no one surrenders," marching for free and fair elections, for respect of the Constitution, for democracy, and against fraud. I am sorry you keep meddling in Bolivian affairs time and again while coddling Latin American tyrants. I don't want to meddle back, but it is clear you are intent on bashing Almagro, the OAS, and my country to attempt to score points against your Republican opponents and rekindle your youthful yet everlasting Castro crush. Well, you will not be able to intimidate Bolivia, but you may hand Florida to your opponents. Again, explain that to your party. Blessings to you, Senator Sanders, and your wonderful family from all freedom-loving Bolivians.